Boy, I wish I was essential.
Better late than never. Hello, wrestling fans. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, etc., etc. It is We Can't Wrestle Live. Nate here with you, along with Kyle and Archie. What is up
Yes.
out there, guys?
Nate,
Not
you
much.
keep missing it. We're live on MySpace, too, even though nobody's on there anymore.
Sun was out today, so the guns are out today.
There you go.
Oh,
No,
shit.
There you
go. Yes, sir.
Happy Memorial Day, everybody.
Yes,
Hope
happy
you had a
Memorial
great
Day.
one. I worked for the first half, grilled for the second half, and then got the Asylum Wrestling podcast posted. I've had a productive day today.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
More so than I. I went to Five Below because they were actually open. And then I come to find out you're not allowed to go inside.
Really?
You have to sit at the front door and ask them if they have the object you're looking for. So I go up to this short little woman, and I say short because she's like 4'8". And I'm like, "Do you have WWE retros?" And she's like, "So you mean the wrestling action figures?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Yeah, hold on, I just saw them." So she runs to the back. She comes back and she has basics with her. And it's like Xavier Woods, John Cena, AJ Styles. And I'm like, no, these aren't the right ones. And I'm going to walk away because I don't want to bother this poor woman to run back into the store again. She's like, oh, wait, do you mean the small ones? And I'm like, yes. And she said, oh, wait, I'll be right back. She brings me the tiny mates, you know, the ones that are like that big.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, the ones that are, they're this big, man. Oh, you mean the retros? I'm like, that's what I said when I first walked up.
Retro.
She comes back and she has them, and they're on sale for $3, which was great instead of being $5.
Mm-hmm.
I bought them, and then I took my wife and my daughter to get Starbucks and came home and put an air conditioner in.
Hey, that's productive.
Oh, and I ran a graded mail away Hogan just now.
Yes, you did, and I didn't win it. So
no, you did not.
Boo.
Jesus. Remember that back in the day when like action figures were $5?
Yes.
Like I remember, like, you know, when I got in like big into pro wrestling, because I had the Hasbros and stuff, but like I switched over to the Jacks, like the bone crunching action ones.
Right.
I was one. You know, like you said, you go to the store and they'd be like $4.99.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Or how many of us wish now that we would have participated in buying green card Hasbros for 3 for $10 at KB Toys?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I have a quick story about that. I'm 9 years old. My mom takes me out birthday shopping with a friend of ours, with my mom's friend, and Hasbro's just came out, and they have the ring and all of the action figures sitting there. The action figures are $3.99. The ring is $15. So it's going to cost my mom a grand total of about $50 to shut my ass up. So I'm like, Mom, I want them all. She's like, well, your birthday's next week. I just wanted to bring you out to see what you wanted. I'm like, well, I want those. I'm 9, of course. I'm throwing a tantrum.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, no, you can't have them all. I'm like, why? They're cheap. They're not expensive. What's the big deal? She's like, no, you can't have them all. My mom's friend's like, oh, how about if I buy him 4 and you buy him 4 in the ring and he'll have them all? Nope, he's not getting them all. Day of my birthday, I get Jake the Snake, Hulk Hogan, and the ring. Okay, that's not a big deal. That's pretty cool.
At least you got a heel and a face.
Right. I had to wait till Christmas. My dad went out and bought me all the rest of them. Okay, that was great and well. So now a few months later, they showed the ad for the mail-aways. Oh. You know, that you could mail away from. They were a lousy $7.99. To buy all 3. You had all 3 for $24. So now when I got back into Hasbro's, I swear I made my first big purchase. I bought a Ric Flair for like $35. It comes in the mail. I go to my mom's house. My dad's sitting there on the chair. He's like, why do you look so angry? I pulled the Ric Flair out. I'm like, you made this cost me $35. My mom's like, what are you talking about? Like, if you would have just bought me all of them when I was a kid and you would have let me keep them, I wouldn't have to spend $35 on it. And the mail-aways are $2,000 and $3,000 now. And you didn't let me. My dad's like, calm down. This isn't therapy. It's you know, you're right, but it's not that big of a deal. I'm like, Dad, $3,000 for a $7 toy?
Right. David Gold comments, CEO of Big Lots, Nate Maxon gets all his figures discounted.
Yes, he does.
It. You know it. Although they're like 4 years ago figures. But anyway.
Little booties matter.
Booty beef?
Booty beef.
That's my koozie today. But no, I remember like at Pick and Save, like when I was a child, they still had like the AWA style wrestlers there.
Lorenko's, yeah.
And like you get, and it's just like
they all had like the same body with a different head.
Yeah.
Nobody looked like they were supposed
Ric
to.
Flair.
Right.
It's funny going through pictures of me and Aaron growing up. My wife always mentions, she's like, that Hasbro ring is in like 70% of the pictures of you guys when you were kids. I'm like, yeah, we were all about our Hasbros, man. Right. It was we had the WWF, we those were the days. Now we don't play with them; they just sit on a shelf.
When I was little, I couldn't find Yokozuna, so I went to the store one day, and they came out with the Street Fighter G.I. Joe figures, and they had a Honda who looked identical to Yokozuna. So I bought him for like $4 and just incorporated him with my Hasbros as Yokozuna.
Ladies and gentlemen, there was his first custom.
Right, exactly.
David Gold saw a bin full of Rikishi Bendums for $1.99 and passed on them.
Those things are like $1,300 now.
Yeah.
Bendums. Oh man.
I have a Yokozuna Bendum back here somewhere that I got from David, actually.
Did you ever see the Bendum ring?
Yeah, it was tiny. It wasn't like really, really big. It was like
it was tiny.
Bad. Yeah.
And the ropes like went around the turnbuckles, like on the outside, and so it's like it kept falling off. Like, this is fun.
Welcome to the Ghetto Wrestling Federation.
So I guess
go ahead, Archie.
I broke the turnbuckles because I was a rough kid. I'm not going to lie. Usually it was me and my brother bashing each other in the head with something till it broke. So I ended up taking pencils, unsharpened pencils, and jamming them to where the ring post went, and taking shoelaces and going around the thing. And that was my ghetto ass ring for a long time.
Another childhood story. We got off topic, but whatever. It's our show. Another childhood story. When Aaron and I were young, of course, as you can probably all imagine, when our mom was not home, our living room was our wrestling ring.
Oh, of course.
We wrestled each other. We had our own WWF, and we used, for our championship belts, fanny packs. Okay. So, because this is the 90s and everybody had a damn fanny pack.
The Rock would be proud.
Yeah. So we're wrestling. Aaron slips on a fanny pack, falls into. My dad had those huge, tall, like wooden RCA speakers. The old.
Oh God!
Aaron slips on the fanny pack, falls into the RCA speaker, and busts his head open. So now we've got to come up with a story because I've got to call Mom at work so she can come home to help him go get stitches. And I promise you, my mom's not watching. She could give a shit less about my wrestling show. So I don't think we have ever told her the truth on that one yet. No, Mom, we weren't wrestling. Aaron just freak accident. He just fell into the speaker. It was crazy.
We used to play Royal Rumble on the bed. We'd all stand up on the bed. There'd be like 4 of us, and we'd be pushing each other off the bed.
Yeah.
And this one time, me and my brother ganged up on our bigger friend. He was like 2 years older than us. We ganged up. We're pushing him. And we pushed him so hard he fell off the bed and went through our wall. And there was literally a human-sized print in our wall of his body. So my dad walks in. He's like, "Is everybody okay?" And he lifts up my friend's shirt. He's bleeding on his back, and he's freaked out. He's like, "What were you guys doing?" My dad, not a big wrestling fan, but he knows his stuff. I'm like, "We were playing the Royal Rumble." He's like, "Well, did you eliminate him?" And I said, "Yeah, we did." He said, "Okay, that's all that matters. Let's get you cleaned up and home."
With a tear in my eye.
He didn't even care that we just destroyed the house.
You know what the greatest thing that you could use for a turnbuckle was? Jumping off the top rope. Remember those old TV sets that were fucking wood?
Yes.
Like 500 pounds? They were perfect jump off.
I preferred the arm of a chair.
Yeah.
Because you could get macho off it. You get real tall. And
How we're all not dead, I don't know. But
why did your mother always pick that exact moment to walk through as you were doing the Macho Man setup to drop?
Yeah.
And she'd be like, "Don't do it," and that's just when you were coming off. It was like she knew the exact moment to catch you.
There's no stopping, Ma. There's no stopping.
It's forward motion, Ma. I ain't stopping now. To cover some modern wrestling from this week, first of all, I guess we would be remiss if we did not say, because we have not, I don't think we've done anything since it happened. Rest in peace to Shad Gaspard, yes.
Who, and I posted here in the Facebook group Shad went home knowing he was a hero.
Yes.
And very, very sad story. Tragic, too young. I always thought that I was never a big fan of JTG, honestly. Crime Time as a team, I liked Shad because I thought my vision for them once they broke up was always that guy has the look and the demeanor to be a real kick-ass monster heel.
He wrestled well. He had his moves, you know. He could have been something.
He could have been a great monster heel, but WWE kind of wasted him. But very, very sad.
Yes. As I said, you want to talk about a hero that is a hero in the best definition. To sit there knowing that, like, when, you know, push comes to shove, it's like, hey, save my child first.
Right.
Exactly.
Knowing that, you know, there's a good chance that
you ain't getting back in time to save me, so at least get him out to safety. Supposedly that they did a GoFundMe for him, and a secret investor donated $40,000 under the name CTC. Mm-hmm. And everyone's speculating that it's John Cena because when they were running in WCW in WWE as a 3-man, they were known as the Crime Time C Nation, and that was CTC. Mm-hmm. So if that was John Cena, look, John Cena's got to be one of the best people I've ever heard of.
Oh yeah,
that guy with the Make-A-Wish things and helping people. But if he did that to give his friend something back to his family to make sure his final resting place was taken care of, God bless him.
Regardless of no, he'll never.
He doesn't take credit for anything he does.
He regardless of what people would say about him as a wrestler, which as time went on, I thought he got absolutely. And
needs to save the Ernest hair. I mean, if he went back to the old John Cena haircut, it'd be better. But you know,
the one thing you can say about Cena is there's almost nobody on the planet that uses their celebrity as a platform to do good like he does. Let's see. Oh, I'm going back through the comments here. David Gold, we were talking about those Bendham rings. He said there's 2 of them. He needs the black one. It's rare. It's like $250.
Really? I didn't even know there was a black one.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I think the black one came in a set with like 3 or 4 figures or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure though.
I don't know
about Bendham because of David Gold. I didn't know anything about him as a kid.
I don't have the stream up on my phone right now because I'm looking at something else. But somebody else who right now is Facebook user says, "Hey, Nate Maxon." Hey, Facebook user.
Hi, Facebook user.
That was the thing about those Bendhams, man. You go back and you look at them, it's like they made those guys well into, you know, like the early 2000s.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, what?
Right. It was one of those things where, you know, people forget Hasbro's were actually still coming out in like 97, 98.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the bone crunching action and the Bendhams took over. And, you know, it was like no one really blinked and was like, wait, where did the Hasbro's go? What are these?
Do you know where I found or first saw like the Hasbro's in 97, 98 was watching Beyond the Ring.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a scene where the kids are playing with it. I'm like, what? I'm like, where'd they get those?
Right.
I want those.
Right.
Like I've never seen those. What the hell?
No, it's ridiculous. There's like 4 or 5 stores in New Jersey, but in the outskirts that still have them on pegs. I mean, obviously they're not 3 for $10 or $4.99 a piece, but to still see them set up on a peg like that is like it takes me back to being a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And a dumb kid, because at 14 I'd walk into like a K&B toy store and be looking for a video game, and they'd be standing there right in front of me. I should have just grabbed what I could.
Yep.
But you know.
Fill the cart up and go. I remember I worked for my first job when I was 16. It was like 96. And I worked for Sam Goody. Yeah, the store that I worked at was one of the Musicland branded stores. But we had a small toy section, and we would get like essentially what they got was stuff that was left over. You know, they didn't care about toys really, so you know, okay, let's get some closeout stuff or whatever. And I remember we had Hasbro's and stuff in the store, and I'm like, man, I should have bought those things back then. $5 and my discount, and
put them in a tub and forget about them.
When you're that age, you don't think about it though. You just
nope. You're thinking about video games and a car.
Exactly. We were talking before we went on the air that I have not yet seen AEW Double or Nothing. I have read about AEW Double or Nothing, and I'm going to have the report up here.
And read the other half.
And Kyle, you watched the whole deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
yes,
so
sir.
Kyle was all in. Kyle was all in on Double or Nothing. Excuse
and
the
I
pun.
wish I would have been all out on some of it because, man. Well, before
so we'll do here.
Sorry,
go ahead.
I said
no. Go ahead.
Before we went on the air, me and Archie were talking about the TNT title and stuff. That it's not finished. They still have
ugly fucking.
Supposedly they've got like 5 or 6 gold plates that have to be stacked up to make that TNT logo look like a little city and things like that, or something like that. But I mean, okay, they wheeled it out. It looks like a hunk of shit. So did the 24/7 title. So does the many of the titles they come out with. I feel it's wrong for Cody to be the first champion. And not because I hate Cody Rhodes. I think Cody Rhodes is a hell of a wrestler. I love him to death, and I think he's great for leaving WWE and doing something other than going to TNA or Impact Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
But you build up Lance Archer. You got MJF, who's a great talent, and a bunch of young guys like Sean Spears. So they're going to be challengers for it, but guaranteed Cody ain't losing that belt for at least a couple of months.
Right.
See, as I was telling him, like a booking idea I had was, if the title's not ready, but you've already promised that Mike Tyson's going to be there, and you already fucking paid him, so fine, have him come out, have him have the belt underneath his shoulder, don't show it, and then have if Cody wins, have MJF steal the fucking thing,
right,
and run off with it until it's ready,
right.
So my back to Cody, how much? David Gold watched it all, and Jeremy Cotton says, "What is this shit?" Hi, Jeremy.
Hi, Jeremy.
Okay, so my thing about the Cody deal is, I don't think he's using the mentality that he should, and what I talk about is the mentality of his father, and here's why I say that. How much better is it when, like Dusty would do, he's not the champion and he's chasing the heel champion?
Right.
It would have been. I think that would have been a much more effective story. Somehow he gets screwed out of the title by Jake or whatever, and let him chase Lance Archer for a while. And
Nate, if I could interject for a second, I think he didn't even have to get screwed out of the title. You want Lance Archer to be a believable monster. I would have liked Lance Archer, and I'm a Cody fan. Beat Cody, and don't even got to pin him, but have the referee stop the match because Cody can't be beaten up anymore.
Right.
You have now Lance Archer is the monster you want him to be. He's the champion.
And Cody totally saves face.
Right. Cody saves face, but now let Cody leave for 2 months because he's so banged up from what this guy did to him. He can't compete. Let Brandy disappear for a couple of months, and in that time, you let Archer destroy Dustin Rhodes to the point of retirement, destroy Jungle Boy, go one-on-one with that Luchasaurus guy, and be a monstrous heel champion till one day, hey, look who's back.
Right.
It's Cody. And he's going to kick Lance Archer's ass.
And hopefully while he was gone, he had that tattoo removed.
The meme I saw today was hysterical. It said Cody Rhodes won the horrible neck tattoo title. TNT. It was perfect.
Comments. Gold says he watched that match. Or he said that match wasn't that good. Jeremy Cotton says, "Hi Nate, hi Otis, eat a dick Archie."
Yep, of course.
So there you go.
Of course.
Jeremy's trolling. He's got to troll you back. He's got to troll you back. Archie.
Here's the thing. I never trolled Jeremy to begin with. He just started on me because he didn't like me being a troll. Now we're friends. I don't know what happened there. But okay, Cody's the champion. He's got believable opponents now. Sean Spears, MJF. He could even have a couple of great matches with Darby Allin and Kip Sabian. But they ain't taking that title off of him yet, so it's just going to waste a lot of talent.
Mm-hmm. We'll get to it later. I don't think that this show did Sean Spears any favors.
No, it didn't.
From what I read.
No, because Dustin won.
Yeah, and very decisively. Very decisively.
Right.
Facebook user, was Lance Archer ready for a title run? My opinion, it's too early. Now Archer will focus and terrorize Dustin Rhodes.
Well, here,
And-
let me. I gotta jump in with this. It wasn't too early. Lance Archer has been killing it in Japan for 4 years. People don't realize that. You understand?
He's the chicken hawk, baby. I mean, the murder hawk.
Murder hawk. And he's got Jake Roberts with him as his mouthpiece. He never has to talk a day in his life.
The only problem I've had with their act so far, I like both. You know, Jake, you can't deny Jake's psychology, his ability on the microphone, and then Lance, I've liked him since Dude Busters, you know, and or not Dude Busters, but crap.
No, I know what you're saying. He was in the tag team with yeah, I know what you're saying.
Rocky Turner's in his house. What's up, Rocky?
What's up, Rocky?
I like them. The only problem I've had with the two of them as a combo so far is there are times where I think that Jake does he focuses his promo too much on himself.
Right.
Whereas as a manager, he should be focusing his promo on his protege.
Well, it's Jake. That's all.
I know, and yeah, absolutely. The ego's there, and he knows how fucking good he is. But, and he's a piss drinker, by the way. But we won't go into that.
No, please don't. I like Jake the Snake. I don't need to hear that.
So, all right, I'm going to ask you guys' opinion again because I didn't actually see it. I just read the report. So I am gonna watch it probably, hopefully tomorrow, just so I can check it out. The casino ladder match.
I like that.
It was
What
fun.
about you?
It was good. It was a good match. Here's the problem with when it comes to ladder matches, and we've seen it all already.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
you can't put the genie back in the bottle.
No, it's not.
Although Darby Allin did try. Darby Allin stole
he
the
did.
show, in my opinion.
He is super over with me, by the way.
Yes, me too.
I don't know if the solution is to just not have a fucking ladder match for like
a year,
2
right.
years, and just let it die down and then come back to it. I don't know, but
right.
Yeah, the thing is, it's like you see these incredible spots, and yeah, they look great. But my problem is twofold. One, you're doing it in front of a very limited people.
Right.
So really, you're risking your body for what?
10 people who are other wrestlers.
You know?
Right.
They're not even paying to see you do it.
Exactly. Two, like I said, you're never going to out-top some of these other wrestlers. And look at what they've gone through because they tried to out-top.
Right.
You know, look at Edge, look at Hardy. I mean,
yep. Yeah,
like
Darby Allin ain't making it to 30 without some pain pills and a bunch of alcohol.
no,
in my opinion.
my God,
Hold on, guys. Wow, 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 wow. We have an invasion here.
Oh,
hey,
shit.
What's up, Chris?
This way. What's up?
Chris is
Will?
like, Chris is like, you know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here.
Well, we do. Actually, we don't know why I'm here because I'm not going to lie. I am completely out of the loop right now. I've just been doing shit around the house. I honestly haven't watched a broadcast episode of wrestling since Becky announced that she was pregnant.
That's only 2 weeks, well.
Yeah.
Well, we're kind of not even really. We're just discussing Double or Nothing, and then we're going to talk about some patriotic wrestling stuff from the past tonight. So you don't even have to be up to speed. By the way, funny ass article on Kayfabe News today. Did you guys see it?
No.
It has the picture.
I'm already worried.
It has the picture of the gobbledygooker egg. And it says Becky Lynch's baby to be hatched at Survivor
God.
Series.
Oh, God.
Don't tempt them.
Really? Damn.
Don't tempt them.
Did anyone notice that instead of that now they're selling a Becky Lynch shirt that says the mom?
They have the mom and they have the ma.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
like,
they have
really?
another one that says the man and the N is blacked out.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, you're really going to cash in on her pregnancy?
Did you not?
Fuck yeah.
But wait, when they announced the shirt, did you see her Twitter?
Yeah, it was I need formula.
She was like, I ain't even mad. I got to buy formula anyway.
Right.
I don't know if that speaks well to Vince McMahon if he's like, "Hey guys, buy my shirts because being off sure don't fucking pay anything."
Vince probably looks at pregnancy as weakness.
Right.
Gonna take you 9 months to get that baby out,
pal.
Linda, what do you mean you have to miss tonight's show because you have to go give birth to our daughter?
Yes. You're weak.
Mae Young was pregnant and she gave birth to a hand.
Now, during the Casino Battle Royal, we'll go back to it for a second. I had one problem and one problem only. I like Brian Cage. I thought he was great in Lucha Underground, and I thought he was great in Impact. He does not need Taz with him as his manager. Not everybody debuting needs a manager.
Does he even really speak? I never really heard him speak. Is that
Brian Cage? Yeah, he screams, "I'm a machine." That's all he says.
Could that be why they gave him Taz, though? Because he can't speak.
But Taz doesn't really speak all that well either. It's like the blind leading the blind.
Well, who else are they going to give him in AEW, though? Seriously,
did he really?
Would you rather Excalibur talk for him?
No, but I mean, he really didn't need a manager. Just let him come in and destroy people. He doesn't got to talk.
Yeah, you could have gone kind of the Goldberg route there, where he's just a silent winner. But they apparently wanted to put him immediately in the main events, so
which they did by him winning the Casino Battle Royal, which was I'm okay with.
Apparently he's been setting at home, signed to a contract with them since January anyway. So
he tore his bicep. Yeah, he needed time to heal.
Me personally, I'm not a fan. But a lot of you guys know how I am with it. He's too big to be doing all the shit that he does.
Well, of course.
And that's a problem I see with him in the future is I think he is going to wind up, and you guys may or may not know what I'm saying when I say this immediately. I think Chris and I have discussed it before, but he is going to wind up like Batista. He's going to have a world of potential, an amazing look, but his build is going to make it so that he is very injury prone. Mm-hmm. When you are that tight,
when he does the kind of shit that he does,
right, like a 450 splash for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, he's doing like lucha flippy shit, and he's not built to do lucha flippy shit.
Oh, come on! I'm sure Dave Meltzer gives him like 5 stars.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Actually, Dave Meltzer has shit on him before.
I bet Dave Meltzer gave some of the goofy shit on this pay-per-view a good rating, though.
I haven't heard his ratings yet.
It's not WWE, so it's got to be
a match.
He gave his butt buddy Kenny Omega 5 stars.
He gave Kenny Omega 5 stars for his ring gear. He didn't even have to do anything.
Yes. I'm Dave Meltzer, and Kenny Omega gets 6.5 stars for putting on his pants.
Right. He on today, 5 stars.
I thought Kyle up there just imitated Dave Meltzer like orgasmic fainting when he sees Kenny.
He does.
He's like, "Oh,
I love his new haircut. It's so nice." All right, back to business here.
Brian,
MJF and Jungle Boy.
Incredible match.
This is one that I know I won't be fast forwarding through because I like both of these guys. MJF is MJF, as I say a million times. Him and Nick Aldis are the best heels in the business. I watch anything he's in.
As good as him and Jungle Boy was, I gotta say, what was last week when he fought Marco Stunt?
Yeah,
fucking perfect.
Well, because
Marco Stunt had him up for that hurt. Yeah. He's like, get out of here with that.
It's the only thing that Marco Stunt has ever been associated with that I didn't shit on. How's that?
Yep.
No, but Jungle Boy and MJF, in my opinion, that was the match of the night.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't make a mistake. They didn't botch one move. And they played psychology. MJF was screaming during that match and cursing at him, like, just go down. Submit now. It's over. And it's like, you believed it, in my opinion.
And what a way to bring up the baby face,
Mm-hmm.
Well, and
I honestly thought the Jungle Boy should have won, but I guess MJF needs a little bit more to keep going, and then they'll let Jungle Boy get a payoff eventually.
Well, I think Jungle Boy's story is going to be, and it's a well-told story.
Mm-hmm.
In wrestling, stories don't get told very well anymore, but it's a well-told story in that he he had a good match with, but failed against Jericho. He's
Right.
had a good match with, but failed against again. It's going to be fun to watch him rise up. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I've tried this before. I failed. Come back, learn from your mistakes. And I think they're doing. He is being paced perfectly in that company. He's one of the good things they're doing.
He's the kind of guy that it's like he's the rookie,
Right.
and so he's losing, and it's like okay, now I know.
But he's learning too. He's
Exactly,
learning more
that's
every
the
time
thing.
he loses.
Mm-hmm.
So losing to MJF, it's like it's not that big a deal because it's just
No,
like
it's not.
well, he got the better of me. MJF's has more experience.
I mean, it's no different than Sting losing to Flair the first time,
Yeah.
or what have you.
Right.
You're building this baby face up. He can lose the first time around, then come back around later on and get the win.
Right. The thing that blows my mind about Jungle Boy is you would think that he's a small dude, but considering where he comes from, he shouldn't be a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
It's Luke Perry's son. His dad was like the James Dean of the 90s. You know what I mean? So to come from that and all of a sudden he's this great wrestler, high flyer that does amazing things in the ring, I applaud him.
Yeah.
And how cool is it going to be when Luchasaurus turns on him eventually?
I don't think Luchasaurus is ever going to turn. I think somebody's going to turn on Luchasaurus.
Think so?
Yeah.
See, I don't know. I kind of see it the other way. I see Luchasaurus being the big fucker that turns on the little fucker. I don't know.
Maybe on Marco, but
Kind of like when Kyle turns on me once in a while. The big fucker turns on the little fucker.
What can I say? I've told you time and time again. Make sure you have my cheese dip, but you don't.
All the man wants is cheese dip. I mean, that's not the accent for a lot.
I don't know why.
Kyle comes in the house for the pay-per-view, and the first words out of his mouth are, "Dude, where's the fucking cheese dip?"
Exactly.
And I'm like, "Queso over here, senor."
Yeah. I'm like, no, seriously, it's arrive, eat cheese dip, destroy Nate's bathroom. is what it is.
I think we have our first official piece of We Can't Wrestle merch.
Arrive, eat cheese dip, destroy Nate's bathroom. And then, like, my cats, all three of them love this fucking guy. Like, Kyle comes over, and the cats are like, "Hello, Kyle." They hide from everybody else, but not him.
I'm lovable.
So, we've already at length discussed the Cody match. Chris, you weren't in for the conversation. I want to hear your opinion. Isn't that the most hideous championship you've seen since the 24/7 championship?
Honestly, I see pictures of it, and I thought they just put the 24/7 title on a red strap.
It's embarrassing. to me,
Pretty
I mean,
bad.
it's embarrassing.
With Tyson holding it, it almost gave the vibe to me like they were trying to almost do their version of like a knockoff boxing type
I
title
told Kyle
because
the
of the
same
red
thing.
strap.
Yep.
They probably were.
But I was really given the rest of their belts, I thought it was going to look a lot more not generic.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I don't know. To me, it's, and I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was a coronavirus thing on the production or what. But to me, for a major wrestling company, it's embarrassing for them to present a belt and then go, "Oh, sorry, it wasn't done yet." I don't know, and I'm not trying to pick. I'm really
that's
not.
what they said.
Yes,
they said it was because of COVID that they couldn't finish it. But I think what really happened is they won one of Nick Francis's Powerball events and didn't pay in time. So Nick kind of didn't do the production the right way.
Sent him a shitty belt. Yeah.
I mean,
So
in
Moxley-
a way,
go ahead.
I understood why it was the circular plate like they did and everything, because the TNT logo is in a circle, but it still just looked.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. It made the 24/7 title look like the Winged Eagle.
I wouldn't go
saying a
that
lot.
far.
No, it made it look like $1 million. That's all I'm saying. It was a shitty title.
To me, it's snake bit from the beginning. Because, like I said, how silly would it be if WWE had the Fox Network Championship
Or the USA title.
or the USA Network Championship?
Oh, give them time.
Right.
You are
honestly,
severely
I honestly
underestimating the
see-
stupidity of WWE.
Well, the thing is, I see like a Fox Fox Incorporated title coming from them eventually anyway, because the amount of money that Fox has dumped into it.
But especially when Fox buys them.
The Fox News title.
Oh God!
You mean
it's not the winged eagle. It's the right wing champ. It's the right winged eagle
Rush
championship.
Limbaugh walks out holding it over his shoulder.
Wait, if Fox does buy WWE, and since Disney owns Fox, does that make all the women new Disney princesses?
Yes, yes, it does.
Diva princesses.
In
fact, they'd even changed the title name to being the Princess Championship.
Yes, the Princess Championship.
No, because that would make like the whole $1 billion princess thing finally actually real.
Right. And Charlotte wouldn't be able to call herself the queen anymore.
She'd have to be the Frozen chick, right?
Right.
I'm still trying to figure that one out because you guys haven't started talking about WWE yet, so I'll wait because I've seen that and I'm really confused.
By the fact that she's a babyface now?
No, I'm trying.
Charlotte has
the NXT championship.
But yet she's on all 3 shows?
So why is she in the #1 contender match?
I was wondering the same thing.
Raw. See, I haven't watched it in 2 weeks, and I seen that graphic come up, and I was like,
okay, you didn't watch it for 2 weeks. I have. I don't get it.
Okay, so now I don't feel as bad. I don't feel so bad.
I don't get it. She fought Bayley on SmackDown and lost to Bayley. Now, in my opinion, if you lose a match, you should not be in a #1 contenders match immediately following that. But now she's the champion.
You act like rules mean anything in
WWE. Well, they should sometimes.
I agree with you, but
I thought Chris was referring to the fact that she's a face again because Charlotte has the Lex Luger Big Show face heel.
Oh, is she a face
thing going on?
Well, she on SmackDown.
She's just a genetic heel to me, so I don't know.
In NXT, she's a heel. Here, let me explain. In NXT, she's a heel because she's the queen and they're all peasants. On Raw, she's a tweener because she doesn't know what she wants to be. And on SmackDown, she's a face because she's got to go up against Sasha and Bayley. So, but why she needs to be on all 3 shows is beyond me.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know because I can't see who it is because it's just this Facebook user. But some Facebook user says Charlotte is the GOAT. She isn't a babyface at all, and Bayley is a buster, 100%.
Who are you, Facebook user?
I mean, Charlotte does have the face of a goat, so I mean, Facebook user is half accurate.
Claim your shit, man. I know it's you.
No, Aaron wouldn't call Bayley a buster. He likes that booty too much. So
I do too. I do too. Bayley booty is fine.
All right, Moxley and Harper sounds like it was pretty good. I still call him Harper.
From what I've seen, it was just a no DQ match.
I can say that I did not like the go home build up to the match. I thought that was garbage. But I figured these 2 guys would have a good match. Push the limit a little bit.
They've been wrestling each other for 20 years on the independent scene in WWE and now in AEW. They know each other inside and out. But I saw a lot of botches in the preview, in the the little snippets that I watched, and it just seemed like it ended on a really weird note. So, yeah. Kyle, you watched it. What did you think?
Oh, it's underwhelming.
That's a good sign.
It's underwhelming because you know what.
Whatever review starts with.
If you would have done this, it might have made it even worse.
I think, in all honesty, I think it was one of those things where fans have built it up so much, and we're used to what Moxley can do and what Harper can do or Brody Lee can do, and it just wasn't gelling on this night.
It really wasn't. But I'll be honest with you, Moxley's whole title reign has kind of been crappy.
It has.
Is his whole title reign, do you think, hindering from the empty arena?
No, because he wasn't getting that big of a crowd reaction when there was fans in the crowd. I mean, he was because it's Jon Moxley. He's a big name.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I can't even remember. What did he have? One showing with crowd interaction before
No,
everything
he
went
was
to shit?
no, he had the crowd there.
Like I can't
for the
remember
whole,
because we've been nationally grounded for so long.
right. No, he had like a month and a half with the crowd, right?
But even in WWE,
Was it that long?
Can you guys all hear me? Sorry.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Because
Okay?
for a minute there, everybody went to me. So I took myself out and brought myself back in.
We were all imitating Charlotte.
Yeah, we were all imitating Charlotte.
Moxley, Ambrose, whatever you want to call him, he's best is chasing the title.
Right.
He's not a title guy.
He's
the fact that
he's got the whole nuance of he doesn't need a belt in my eyes.
Exactly.
Right.
And he's the kind of character. It's like Steve Austin was. It's like, especially towards the beginning, like.
Yeah, but when Austin finally got the title, everybody had that satisfaction of going, "Yes, he finally got it." When Moxley gets the title, you get the satisfaction of when is he going to defend it next?
But think about it though. With Austin, it was the same thing. It was he didn't hold that title for very long.
No, he didn't.
Got screwed out of it.
But at least he was defending it against real guys. Guys who made sense. I mean, Brody Lee debuted, and a week later he's like, "I want a title shot." All right, well, you're Brody Lee, you're great, but I think that AEW is pulling the Impact move of let's give every WWE cast off main stage appeal because they're their names.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm also looking at the.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Chris.
My thought process though is with Moxley being a face, aside from Jericho and MJF, who is really a strong enough heel to have a captivating long enough feud.
Can he have a match with somebody who isn't that big of a heel and make them into a better heel, like a Shawn Spears, or
I don't. The thing is, they really haven't given Spears that much of a thing, and they've done so much of a social media thing of trying to find him a partner that he's like the guy who wants to be in the tag division.
All
so.
Right, well, Moxley had a match with Frankie Kazarian 2 weeks ago on Dynamite, and they had a 25-minute match that was actually very good. Now, Kazarian is not a heel, but it actually made Frankie Kazarian, who's been in the business 20 years, seem relevant again, instead of just being in a tag team. They could do that with anybody.
Yeah, well, the thing is, that's what I'm getting at. They need to actually take Moxley more into almost like a Stone Cold type.
Right, let him fight anybody.
Thing to where but they're trying so hard to make him like the people's guy, to where he's going to has to be the face, to where he needs to just be, I'll fight anybody. That way you can have him feud with anybody. But the thing is, with the whole, I don't know who they really have to have. You know what I mean?
He walked in and feuded with Kenny Omega. Okay, great. Not a bad feud, but that barbaric match that they had was a little bit over the top. It was good.
That also got them in trouble.
Right. I think they're paying like a $50,000 fine now for doing what they did. Then he moved to his feud with Jericho, which was fantastic. But in my opinion, that was because of Jericho. And then he went to a feud with Jack Swagger, who I don't like.
But he can, and I'm going to speak to this just because I think that he can be the guy that could be a champion that faces faces and heels. And the reason I say that, now, Kyle, you a little bit ago compared him to Steve Austin. I actually I don't disagree with what you're saying. I part ways with you a little bit on that, because I almost look at Ambrose more like Roddy Piper.
I agree.
In that I think he's more of a Roddy Piper type, and Roddy Piper could walk in Tuesday and be feuding with heel Ric Flair, and then Wednesday he could be feuding with Hulk Hogan.
Right.
And either way, people are going to cheer him or boo him whether or not he's wrestling a face or a heel, because he has the charisma and the presence to just be him. You know what I mean? Like, he's just him. The ultimate tweener, I guess, is what I'm saying.
I was saying with Steve Austin, as far as the fact of not in character, more in the sense of that Steve Austin. God, I'm gonna get shit for this. I know I am.
Hold on before you finish your thought, because he's here and we have to acknowledge him. Aaron says,
Hello,
hashtag
Aaron.
Aaron says hashtag booty beef and hashtag Kyle Army can't read. And Facebook user said Piper was the GOAT. But anyway, go ahead, Kyle. I'm sorry. Finish your thought.
Steve
Always
Austin,
interrupted by Aaron as usual.
No, you're fine. Yeah, tell me about it. Love you, Aaron. But okay, that's what I was thinking about. Austin was not a good champion in the sense of he was the kind of guy that needed to be chasing the title.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
He really didn't name me really one guy that he made while having the title. It was more about him chasing after The Rock or chasing after Undertaker, or chasing after Vince.
True.
I think Moxley's the same way in that respect. Is that
well? I think you're both right because Moxley could be of both Austin and Piper because neither one needed the title. Roddy Piper was never World Heavyweight Champion, and the only time he chased it was in WCW towards like 94, 95, 96.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't really need the title. It's just my thing with Moxley is, and I'm going to go back to his earlier WWE work. When he won the United States title, he didn't defend it for 3 months. And when he did, it was in 6-pack challenges and fatal 4-ways and ladder matches. You know what I mean? He doesn't come off that great as a champion. So maybe AEW was supposed to look at him and go, look, John, we love you. We want you. But we're going to give you like 6 or 7 months without the title before you even get anywhere near it.
And we're going to give you a new name, and it's going to be Rowdy Cold Steve Moxley.
Say that 5 times fast.
Or Chili McFreeze. That would have been fun if they would have given him Austin's hated name, Chili McFreeze. You're now Chili McFreeze.
So let's move on here to what I want to hear Kyle's opinion on, because again, haven't watched it. I'm going to watch it before I really pass judgment.
I know what you're bringing up. I know what we're going to.
Yes, we are. We're going to this this Stadium Stampede thing.
Oh, so we're not going to talk about the women's title match?
No, we're not.
Okay. I had a lot to say about that, but all right, never mind. I'll be quiet. I'll be good.
Let me start off by saying that I was very much intrigued about the Stadium Stampede match because I was like, oh, shit, they're going to be in a stadium. Right. It's going to be an all-out brawl. And there was a lot of good moments. And boy, there's a lot of bad moments. I like the fact that Jericho's team, the Inner Circle, showed up with fucking football gear on.
Now I got to go back and watch it. Okay.
And pads, like, watch Jericho. He has freaking pads on. That's funny. It's Jericho for you.
Right.
But there's a moment where Hangman Page is on a horse. A horse. He rides a horse. What?
Jeff Jarrett did it.
Not during a match.
Yeah, like he's literally riding this horse around while there's an active match going on. And what's weird to me is it's like, okay, so it may be if I don't know, Chris, have you seen it? Okay.
Chris is like, no, but go ahead, please.
Chris is like, I don't want to see it. Dude, don't force me to watch that.
There's moments in the match where they roll into the ring to do something and then roll back out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why have the ring there to begin with if you're just going to roll in just to do something and then roll back out?
Because nobody wanted to take a tombstone in the middle of the Jaguar Stadium.
So here's my question. I want to ask this question because, again, I have not seen it yet.
Right.
Okay. So I have a couple of questions that I want to elaborate on as we go through what happened. Okay. The first question is, did they do the stupid, hokey background music shit that WWE did with Money in the Bank? Okay. Did they do the stupid, hokey movie camera cutscene shit that WWE did with Money in the Bank? Like, were there multiple camera angles like it was a movie, or was it filmed more like the cameraman was chasing them?
More like the cameraman was chasing him.
Which is fine. To me, that's better. Even though this sounds like it was stupid, to me, at least if you have the effect of the cameraman chasing the wrestlers,
right,
it doesn't look like a movie. It doesn't look as choreographed because I hate that.
This was filmed 2 days before the pay-per-view, though, Nate,
mm-hmm.
and then put together and shown at the pay-per-view. It was not live.
And don't get me wrong, it's a cool aspect to see a stadium empty and see these guys fighting. But just like at the beginning of the match, they run at each other like the Avengers.
It's the Rumble.
And it's like, all right, okay, it is what it is. But they look. I don't want to spoil too much of it for you guys, but two big moments is the fucking horse. I don't know why Hangman Page had a horse.
I didn't know what was going on. The first thing I seen on my Facebook was a screenshot of Page on the horse, and it said leak screenshot from Red Dead Redemption 3. Yeah. I was like, oh god.
And then it's been a couple of years. It's been a couple of years since I've been in a stadium, but what stadium has a fucking pool?
Jaguar Stadium.
That one.
The one that was convenient for this match.
So somebody got thrown in a pool?
Oh boy.
Oh, it was Matt Hardy, wasn't it? He changed personas in the match.
Yes, sir.
Oh, God. Oh,
was
God.
It the pool of regeneration? It was the swimming pool of regeneration?
3 times. 3 times.
So he went from cold-blooded to V1 to...
No, so he goes from
broken
Matt Hardy
broken
to Bruce-style Matt Hardy.
What? Okay.
Version 1 Matt Hardy.
Uh-huh.
Which, by the way, is my favorite Matt Hardy.
Wait a minute. Did they put the Matt Hardy facts up when he was in version 1?
Yes, they did.
Did they really? Oh my God, I gotta watch this.
They couldn't call him Matt Facts or whatever. They called it something else. But yeah, they do. They bring up the screen.
Okay.
I have to butt in.
Did he still not like mustard?
I have to butt in. That is my favorite and my favorite incarnation of Matt Hardy ever. I don't know how long forever. Yo, yes. Yeah, dude. I got my kids doing that when they were little. Like me and my kids would be like, V1.
And he does the whole
Did they at least have like Shannon Moore do like a little cameo for being an MFer?
No,
damn
it.
Not.
that would have been priceless.
Right.
But
or Marco.
He could have ran up and like been the stable boy. No, they could have had Shannon run out and like do the V1 symbol and grab the horse and be like Page's stable boy or something.
Was it a Royal Rumble or just a Battle Royal? Was it a Royal Rumble or just a Battle Royal? Is not one of the best spots ever when Matt got eliminated from a Battle Royal and Shannon laid on the floor and let Matt fall on him?
Yeah, that was the beginning of that, yeah.
So that he didn't touch the floor. Amazing. Anyway, sorry, I got off track. I always go back to yesterday.
Okay, so what else does he become? You said V1, Brood,
V1, and then he changes back to
Broken
Matt
Damascus or whatever.
Yeah.
Damascus, yeah.
Like I said, I don't want to spoil all of it.
Is there a new Vanguard, or did they not bring out a new Vanguard 1? Because Vanguard 1 died.
What?
No,
that would be.
He keeps talking about Vanguard, but no, that it happened.
No, okay.
But here's my problem. Okay, so the faces go over. They've conquered the inner circle. So why do we need to go to War Games now?
Right. Mm-hmm. Or Blood and Guts, whatever it's called.
Yeah, I don't understand that. There's no reason why the inner circle should have lost. I mean, if you're gonna do it when there's a crowd.
And that is inherently one of let me say, and I know sometimes I'm like, and I'm only 41, but sometimes on this show I feel like I'm old guy screaming at the clouds. Okay. And but it's because I became a wrestling fan at 5 in 1983. So I've watched this stuff since 1983. And I know and I'm not a wrestler. I've never been in the business. That's why this show is called the We Can't Wrestle podcast. But as a fan,
I didn't know that.
As a fan, I know what works. I know what works for me as a fan.
Right.
And there is the one thing about pro wrestling to me, and you guys can agree, disagree. The listeners can agree, disagree. Booked properly in the same way over and over and over again for years and years and years, wrestling worked. The way wrestling works. And the way wrestling doesn't work. And what they do now doesn't work. It isn't wrestling. It's like Raven said, one of my favorite things he ever said in a shoot promo, because you can say what you want about Scott Levy, but as far as mind for the business, that guy's up there with like Jake Roberts, okay, for psychology and booking and telling a story. And he says, in wrestling, to tell a good story, there are really only 7 stories. And you just tell those same 7 stories over and over again with a little bit of a twist, and you're going to get put asses in seats and people are going to care. You stole my girl. You stole my belt. You cheated me out of this. You know what you guys know what I'm saying, and I'm going on a rant. And like Kyle, to what Kyle, and I'm elaborating on what you said, Kyle, and I'm a blowhard, so I kind of cut you off. But they're not booking in a way they're not booking in a way to keep me engaged and make money, because ultimately what I want to see is the bad guy keep screwing over the good guy, honestly, and eventually the good guy. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
Well, I'm just going to chime in, like how you were saying that. Honestly, the dynamic of nobody in the crowd is honestly why I really haven't watched in 2 weeks now. It's just I'm over it.
Yeah, it's getting hard. It's getting harder and harder.
I feel bad because I am a fan, and I feel and look at myself as a real fan. But it's one of those things where it's really eye-opening to where, like you, I've been a fan for decades.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those things I never realized how much a crowd actually can matter to what's going on in the ring until you don't have a crowd there to go along with what's happening in the ring.
And I can attest to what Chris I can attest to what Chris is saying about his fandom. I can attest to what Chris is saying about his fandom. Hell, we were watching pay-per-views together like 16 years ago, so I can definitely attest to that.
Now, here, real quick, I want to bring up 2 points. One, with everything. One,
Aaron, it's because I keep cutting you off, isn't it?
Nate, yeah, it is. But Nate, it's going to do your heart good that Kenny Omega completely fucks up in this match.
Just like every match?
I mean,
more so than usual, you mean?
I've seen bad kicks. But good God, there is a moment where he goes for a kick,
mm-hmm.
and he literally comes down, and you see him like slow down and be like, just barely tap. When you watch it, you'll see what I'm saying.
When you watch it, can you wait? When you watch it, can you let me know, and I'll come over and we can watch it together, just so I can revel in you celebrating that moment. Because that's going to be that's going to be like the creme de la creme of this whole show, is just watching Nate's reaction going, finally, everybody sees what I've been saying forever.
I'll just have middle finger jazz hands up in the air at Kenny Omega.
I'm the smartest man in the world, and nobody else knew it but me.
But
are you gonna be like, of course, like the real Jazzy one, like?
So of course, in a match like this, it is good guys versus bad guys, and it's a huge feud, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have both sides who want to win this title or want to win this match. It is everything's on the line, but yet everybody splits up and separates.
Right.
Okay. What's the strategy in that?
Right.
If everything was on the line, why wouldn't you be right there in case your partner gets pinned?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't understand in a lot of multi-man matches, though.
And that's where this should have been 2 guys.
You know, if you go back to like 1997, when Sting used to hit the ring and attack the NWO, why would they attack him one at a time? Why wouldn't like 8 of them just jump on his ass, get the bat away from him, beat the shit out of him?
Well, think about it. The same thing in movies. I mean,
right.
Like anytime you see the good guys storming the base, they went to the Academy of One at a Time henchmen class.
Can I tell you? This has got me floating off topic now.
No.
Movies. Okay, you said movies, and we were talking about fight scenes. And I don't know if all of you guys have seen it or not. I know at least one of you has. But are or are not the most effective fight scenes in a show you've ever seen or one of the most effective fight scene in a show you've ever seen. The hallway fight scene in Daredevil on Netflix.
Mhm.
As he's fighting through that apartment complex, through the hallway. Holy
I've never seen
fuck.
it, so I can't say yes or no.
Oh, man. It is the most effective way for a hero to be fighting multiple villains and for them to kind of be in levels. It's so well done.
A hallway is the best way to make sense of attack one at a time.
Exactly. Yes, and it's like I when I watched that for the first time, I actually rewound it and watched it again because I was like, that was so fucking cool. I'm gonna watch that again.
and those guys on those Netflix shows, they know how to book
a fight scene, right?
Like the Punisher.
I guess I'm just going to
where
I'm going to ask this though, like if there's still. Oh, sorry.
No, Kyle's going. Eerie.
Oh, okay. Am I better now?
Yes, you're no longer a goat.
Yeah, cool.
If they're still doing the blood and guts thing, they are, correct?
Yes.
Apparently.
So, like what Kyle was saying about the whole why for this version of the match, if they were going to split up like that, why didn't they just do this like almost like a mini tournament style Elite versus Inner Circle and be like, this member of the Elite versus this member of Circle, go. And then they could even made it like at the end of it, whichever group got the most wins, they get the upper hand in blood and guts.
Yeah.
Like a tournament gauntlet kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, like a mini one show, one shot tourney. That way you could still split it up. You could still do your cinematic thing like they were doing, but then it actually has like a true goal, and it has a payoff because it's going to help you and it's going to make you want to see a blood and guts after this. Because like you said, with Inner Circle losing now, what's the point of this match coming up?
Exactly.
Whereas if they did this, now the Inner Circle's got something to prove because they've got the deficit. So now they've got to be even more dastardly to get that final win over the Elite. Why didn't they do it that way?
Well, my figuration is that if they still do blood and guts, the Inner Circle will probably win that, and then they'll have one more blow-off rubber match to see who the better team is.
But see, that's the point, though. The War Games, blood and guts, that should be the blow-off.
It should be. It usually used to be
not the blow off.
It used to be in the time of Flair and the Road Warriors.
So now we're gonna have the we like force you into a we're gonna have the we force you into rocket ship and ship you into space fucking match or something.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like turning into the Latino WWE division.
Oof.
See, the
thing like the same four guys are going to fight each other forever because they're the same heritage.
The thing I don't like about a lot of this, look, I like the Elite, I'm a fan, but a lot of the stuff that they do, you end up having to watch Being the Elite on YouTube in order to know what's really going on to the story. If you don't watch that YouTube show and you didn't watch AEW for a week, you don't know what fuck all is going on. Like, I don't know why Matt and Nick weren't there
and then you have,
for that little while.
And then you have people like Dave Meltzer who are like, well, that's psychology. And it's like, no, that's
not psychology. No, not at all. It's overbooking for the sake of overbooking.
Well, it's not only that. I've never even heard them really promote Being the Elite.
They don't during the Dynamite TV show. They don't. They do not. That's the bad part.
I mean, I could even deal with them doing this whole like storyline filler on Being the Elite if they would promote this shit on TV. Because how many AEW fans who weren't, like Bullet Club, New Japan fans have any idea about Being the Elite to begin with?
Exactly.
Well, see, the problem is, and maybe I'm misspoken on this, but the problem is, it seems to me that with like the Elite and stuff, it's a in club thing.
Right.
Like, if you know, and if you don't, well, and it's like that. Why is it so exclusive?
I mean, YouTube is free. It's not like it's a hidden charge if I want to go watch Being the Elite. So if you promote it, like Chris said, if you promote that on television, this week on Being the Elite, find out why Nick Jackson was missing for 6 weeks. Something. You know what I mean?
Something.
Right. Chris, I know you're a huge comic book fan. Archie,
I love comic books.
I don't know if you are or not, but in comic books, you guys know they always treat this like it's everybody's first issue. They never sit there and make it to the point where it's like, I don't know what the hell's going on. No, they want it, no matter where you are, whatever issue you pick up in a storyline, you can catch yourself up to it.
In my opinion, Dynamite does the same thing with Dark.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't properly talk about Dark until like they have the name card when they're coming to the ring that'll mention Dark there. So then they'll be like, oh, snippet, blah, blah, Dark. And then that'll be all you hear.
Right.
Like, do you even know when Dark's on?
I believe it's on Tuesday on YouTube again. It's not on television.
But what I'm saying is, like you just said, you believe it is.
Right. I don't know if it is.
Exactly. So, I mean, but they'll include Dark info on their goddamn name cards when they're coming to the ring.
Right. He's 4-0 on Dark. Well, what is that? I didn't see him go 4-0 on Dark.
Yeah, and some people are like, what the hell is Dark?
Right.
Because
imagine,
especially common fans. Well, the thing is, like with common fans, WWE common fans, Dark, that's non-televised, irrelevant, non-canon
Well, no, that's
matches.
what I was going to say, Chris. They gave it the perfect name, Dark. We can't see it. You know what I mean? It's so dark we can't see it right now.
But the thing is, like exactly. But like
Joe,
with the common
Schmo
fans,
drinking his beer, watching is like
right. You might get more fans from Dark and from Being the Elite that don't even know Dynamite's on television. How many people who will just watch YouTube don't know that there's really an AEW Dynamite or don't care to watch it right now because they don't know what's going on? I used to watch Being the Elite religiously every week, every episode. The only reason I stopped now is because I thought that that's what Dynamite was going to be a bigger episode of Being the Elite. I didn't know I still had to watch in order to know what was going on.
Yeah.
But,
we've
gone a long time here, guys, on negativity and bad shit. Let's talk about some good stuff. Let's talk about some great patriotic angles, moments of pro wrestling, seeing that it is Memorial Day. And I want to start off with the USS Intrepid and the slamming of Yokozuna.
That is good.
Poor Yokozuna. The reason I say that is because all I could think about is the podcast episode with Pritchard when they were talking about it. And the Intrepid, the ring had been set up for so long. And the ring was so fucking hot.
Yep.
And he was complaining about his feet burning. And Fuji was like, you don't need shoes.
They don't wear shoes in Japan. But
he was like, pretty much suck it up. And I mean, that's why I always think now, poor Yokozuna. I mean, that was a lot of weight to be bearing down on those feet, burning to hell on that ring mat for God knows how long.
You guys ever get the idea that during a segment, like off air, Vince was like, "You're gonna do this because you're Japanese," and Yoko looked back and went, "I'm fucking Samoan.
My name is Rodney, asshole.
My name's Rodney. I'm not Japanese."
It's Rodney Anahi. It's like, what part of that makes you think of Japanese, Chinese? It's like,
you got Mr. Fuji with you. Mr. Fuji's like, I'm Chinese. What are you talking about?
But you know what? You can talk shit about Lex Luger, but goddamn,
no, that was the perfect way to get him over.
Oh,
no one expected Lex Luger to come off that helicopter that day. No one expected. Everybody thought Yokozuna was going to go undeslammed and just continue to be a monster.
Coming out in those American flag Zubaz.
Yeah, and that T-shirt that was too big.
And
they dressed him on the helicopter. They told him, here, put on this USA gear because we got to get you there real quick. Lex is like, you mean I'm not going to be the narcissist anymore?
Oh, man. Nope, you're going to be the next Hulk Hogan, pal.
God.
No, that was a great, I have to say, that was one of the better storylines when using the United States theme. But they didn't fulfill it. They didn't get over with what they were trying to do because
Well,
Oh, great, Nate's back.
Oh!
Did you guys see my comments while I was gone?
You're mingling
Okay.
with the viewers so you can get your show back. For some reason, Kyle Hostile took over your show.
That's fine. Okay.
It is. Yo. It's the Hostile Take.
No, apparently my internet's garbage tonight. So,
It
but anyway,
to all of us.
I did see we were talking about the Lex Express and such.
Yes. Like I said, you think about it. Nobody can slam Yokozuna. You had football players, everything else, and here comes Lex Luger.
And
he finally, and Archie said that they dropped. They really didn't follow up on it. From everything I've ever seen, so a lot of it fell on Lex, not following up on it.
Let me ask you a question, all three of you. Hypothetically,
okay.
SummerSlam comes around. Lex faces Lex Luger, and Lex faces Yokozuna and wins the world title. What's the worst that could have happened? He would have lost it back to Yokozuna a month later if it was a shit title reign?
Even back then, my big thought on that was, because the only time I was ever a Lex Luger fan was in probably 90 to 91 in WCW when he was heel Lex Luger with Harley Race.
Okay.
I liked Lex then. And what I always thought would have been awesome then is, okay, have Lex beat Yoko at SummerSlam. And then as you gradually build toward WrestleMania 10, you have that heel side of Luger start to come out.
Right, because maybe the fans are cheering Brett more now.
Yeah, exactly my point, because I think that you would have had money in Bret Hart versus Lex Luger.
Definitely.
At WrestleMania. Now, I'm glad we got Bret and Owen. I hindsight 2020, it's one of the best matches ever. Yeah. But I think that he would have been so much more effective in the WWF as a heel. Shitty, cocky champion.
All right, so he doesn't win the title. We go on to WrestleMania. We get Luger versus Yokozuna. We get Bret versus Owen, which was a phenomenal match. Yokozuna again wins by, he keeps the title by something stupid with Luger, and then Bret beats Owen. Bret beats Yokozuna. In my opinion, that shit on Owen's win over Bret a little while ago.
Right.
Same show. You just let him lose to Owen. Let him lose to Yoko too, and then let him continue to feud with Owen without the title.
Here's the thing that I've never understood: why was Owen not in that match?
Right. You beat the number one contender.
Bret Hart,
right?
Who's the number one contender? It should be Owen going for that title.
But there was a lot of clumsiness. I think that they could have given the belt to Luger at SummerSlam, and whether he stayed face or went heel, give it a test try. What were you going to lose, really? The WWE was still in that new era kind of way, where it was, the new federation and all that shit. What was going to happen? You were going to lose a couple 100,000?
You can totally tell watching the entire angle play out that they got cold feet at the end, because the way that angle played out, the way old school wrestling was booked, that was booked for Lex Luger to win the title at SummerSlam.
Oh, well,
they even had the fucking balloons ready.
Right. He got a champions party afterwards for winning by count out.
Right. Now, I wrote down when Kyle mentioned to me earlier today about let's talk about some patriotic shit because it's Memorial Day. This will be a tale of two cities here. You want to talk about patriotic wrestling? What about Sergeant Slaughter? The epitome of a patriotic wrestling character. The guy was the guy, and I'm not. I was gonna say I'm not comparing him to The Rock, but if you think about it, very Rock-like in the fact that he went and did his own thing outside of wrestling. He made a name outside of pro wrestling that lasts to this day. There are people literally that think of Dwayne. They think of Dwayne Johnson. They don't think of him as the wrestler. They think of him as the actor. Same with Slaughter. They don't think there are people out there in the mainstream world that aren't wrestling fans.
Was a wrestler, right?
Or even if they do, they associate him more as a G.I. Joe,
right,
and an action figure.
Which they're both G.I. Joes.
There you go. But we won't talk about that fucking reiteration that they did. That was terrible.
I think Slaughter G.I. Joe would have kicked Rock G.I. Joe's ass, though. in my opinion.
I hate to. Well, off topic again. I saw a meme today. I saw a meme today that had it had Cobra Commander with some of the Cobra guys
and they're
with the masks.
everybody's wearing a mask.
And then they show people wearing masks. It's like Cobra finally took over. I thought that was funny.
Yep.
But no, Slaughter. I mean, as a patriotic babyface against the Iron Sheik in Madison Square Garden, or his fucking street fight with Pat Patterson.
Right.
Amazing
Here's the
talent,
thing, though, too. By Slaughter going out and making a name for himself with G.I. Joe and becoming an action figure with G.I. Joe as well, what he did was anyone who wasn't a fan of wrestling, when they heard Sergeant Slaughter was becoming a wrestler, like if they didn't know he was there before, they switched over from being a G.I. Joe fan to being a wrestling fan now, too. He brought mainstream attention.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that was definitely... Look, some can say, well, they did the whole Slaughter sympathizes with Iraq thing. But then he actually had the feel-good moment of coming back to being a patriot again and joining Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who, incidentally, Leadway, is appearing in the Nerd Closet, WCC, and the Asylum on May 30th for a virtual show.
Yes, he is. Yes,
you like
he
that,
is.
Nate? You like that?
Yeah, I love segues. I love segues. The other thing about Slaughter is he was able to work that gimmick both babyface and heel. If you remember, the gimmick actually started as a heel.
Right.
And also, a lot of people don't realize, other than probably Gorgeous George in the 50s, when Gorgeous George would have like piano music playing or something sometimes when he would come out to the ring, Slaughter was really the first guy to have an entrance theme. Like the story about, they had a boombox and they played the Battle Hymn of the Republic. Like he was even before the Freebirds using music. He didn't do it when he came. If I remember correctly, he didn't do it when he came to the ring, but he would do it when he came into an interview.
Right.
And kind of a trendsetter and a real talent. Now, I was kind of waiting for Kyle to come back, but apparently he's not peeing, he's pooping because he's taking forever. Because the reason I said that he was a tale of two, he's the spinning circle right now on my screen as well.
Mine too. I'm being hypnotized.
The reason I said Slaughter was a tale of two cities was now what is everybody's opinion of the Iraqi sympathizer storyline in 91?
I thought it was really well done. I mean, you take this guy, you take G.I. Joe, and you make him a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Not because he felt the fans turned on him. You know what I mean? They were booing him. They weren't paying it. Hulk Hogan was the great American hero now, not me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because it wasn't just about getting the title off the Ultimate Warrior. His first words were, "Hulk Hogan, you scum," and burning the Hogan shirt like a flag. And it was
because he refused to burn the flag.
Right. He wouldn't burn a flag. Of course not. Who would want to burn a flag? But he was always after Hogan. So I think it was done perfectly. When he burnt Hulk Hogan's face with that fireball as a kid, I went, "Oh shit, what just happened?" Yeah. Hulk Hogan got burned. You know what I mean? So
the thing that hurt that story the most was the fact that the war only lasted 3 days. It really hurt the story because you're built, and by the time you come to your big match at WrestleMania,
there's no such thing as Saddam Hussein anymore.
Yeah, by the time you come to your big match at WrestleMania, the war's over, and it's just you've lost your steam.
Slaughter's cutting a promo. America sucks. America's garbage. All hail Iraq. Wait, you mean we're done? Wait, we lost? Oh, wait, all right, never mind. I'll shut up now.
No, you're wrong. It was good. I mean, it was fun for what it was. That's what I never understood when people were like, "Oh, well, it was cheap heat." That's what pro wrestling is.
Yeah.
It's either a cheap pop or cheap heat. You got to get it one way.
Good Lord.
Well, look at Rick Rude. You nasty Philadelphia
sweat hogs.
Yes. Every once in a while, he'd pop Heenan too when he'd do one. You ever notice that? Like once in a while, he'd
Heenan
say
would
one and it
bust
would
out
pop
laughing.
Bobby.
Yep. That's how you know he did a good one.
Exactly.
If Bobby laughed, that meant he was in control.
What about one of the greatest storylines they ever did? Canada versus America
Mm-hmm.
in 1997.
1997 is my favorite year in WWF history.
Brett coming out and saying, you know, if I was going to give the country an enema,
I'd stick it right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'd stick the tube. I'd stick the tube right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh.
Okay, so here's my thing, and I know this is supposed to be about patriotics, but we're talking about the USA versus Canada. And we talked, and Kyle was part of the show that we talked about this. Chris and Archie, I don't think you do, so maybe I'll get your opinion more. Although maybe not the best heel ever, heel Bret Hart is my favorite heel ever. The shit-eating grin, the condescending promos,
I'll make you
so
a statement
good
right now. I like heel Bret Hart better than I like face Bret Hart.
And it's because face Bret Hart was so good.
But then he would whine
when he turned.
Look, all right.
Yes.
I've said this about Hogan too. Hogan did heel shit while he was a face. Sid Justice eliminates him through Royal Rumble, so he grabs Sid Justice and pulls him over the top. Macho Man wins at World War III, the world title. Hogan jumps in the ring and says, I was never eliminated. Your best friend just won the world title. Be happy for him. In the same regard, Bret Hart, I lost the match. Let me break monitors and bitch. You know what I mean? And blame it on somebody else. When he was a heel, at least when he would bitch, whine, and moan, it for a reason. You know, you can't be a whining, bitchy face. It doesn't work.
Which one of my favorite moments is that cage match on Raw where he loses and he's like fucking Sid Justice goes out or Sid Vicious goes out, Psycho Sid, whatever, because he's like, I don't know shit.
I don't know shit. But like that moment, and that's why I say 97 is my favorite year, I think, in wrestling, because it was post what we grew up with,
right,
but pre what became shit. And it's an evolution. Like, I remember watching that Raw live, Bret Hart pushing Vince McMahon on his ass and going, this is bullshit. And me going, this is fucking great. Like, you've never seen anything like this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It was pre-Austin beating the shit out of McMahon every week. So it was the first time we're seeing Vince McMahon take a beating.
And then he turns around and says, frustrated isn't the goddamn word for it. It's like,
and you're just
use God's name.
And the funniest thing about it is the whole time that whole thing is going on, USA is scrolling this thing underneath like La Femme Nikita will be airing in 10 minutes.
Silk Stockings at 11. It's like,
what
are you doing?
Like, I want to watch La Femme Nikita. What even is La Femme Nikita? Does anybody even know?
Yes, it was a show about a Russian spy female who used her sexual allure to get her people that she was trying to infiltrate to give her secrets.
So
is that on Pornhub now, or
no? I looked, it's not there. It was crap. That's all it
was. I always remember it was funny because back then, before Raw, there was Murder She Wrote,
right.
and then after Raw, it was always some risque show that they were trying to
hate. Like, I'd ask my mom to tape Raw when I wasn't home on a VCR.
Oh
obviously.
Yeah, yep.
And she would get the last 5 minutes of Murder, She Wrote and not go the extended to get the rest of Raw. And I'd miss the last 5 minutes. Be like, so great, I got to see Angela Lansbury solve the case, Mom, but I don't know what battle royal.
And that was also the time where you hated dogs.
Yes, because yes.
Goddamn Westminster bullshit. Stupid tennis.
And they wouldn't tell us like 3 or 4 weeks ahead of schedule. We'd find out the week before.
Yeah.
If you were lucky.
Here's the thing. Austin's beating the shit out of Bret Hart. We know they got a match coming up. They might do it on Raw, and then all of a sudden, by the way, next week will be preempted because of the Westminster Raw Doctor. Fuck!
This is
we're not
getting dog show on your network, and it's being.
You mean we're not getting a continuation to this next week? I gotta wait 2 weeks.
I loved being a 90s wrestling fan.
I'm telling you. My absolute favorite, will be preempted this Monday. But join us Friday. Who remembered that it was coming on Friday? You would always miss the Friday edition of Monday Night Raw.
You know how I used to watch wrestling in the 90s?
How?
A lot of people flip back and forth and everything else. No. See, I learned real quick that WCW replayed their show at midnight.
Exactly. That's why I never understood the ratings where I was like, why is WCW winning the ratings where you watch Raw live and you watch the replay?
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
why is it this hard? Why do you not know what to watch?
Right.
So I was like, Mom, make sure you record this for me.
Yep. It never made sense. Why would you do a replay following your live show? Or no, you'd get the 3 hours of Monday Nitro, then an hour of basketball, and then the next 3 hours of Monday Nitro and a replay.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? You're giving me the option of watching Monday Night Raw first.
And what's sad is they did that and they still kicked Vince's ass in the ratings. That's why I never understood.
Yep.
I was like, Vince, how are they losing ratings when any common sense person knows that I can just watch this shit when I get done with Raw anyway?
Right.
I don't know, Friar Ferguson and Mantar, those really...
Yeah, but, we're talking about when it was finally stopping with that bullshit.
No, that's true, but
but
halfway... I know we're getting off topic here, but...
That's all right.
The first hour of Nitro sucked, though, let's be honest.
It did. That's where you see, Craig Pittman versus...
You'd get one good luchador match, because that would be the opener, a cruiserweight match. And then, Craig Pittman versus Cobra, because that was the guy. The fake name was known as Cobra beforehand. And then you'd get, the Nasty Boys versus Public Enemy.
You could always guarantee that during the first hour of Nitro, you were going to get that Juventud Guerrera music.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, let's talk about their pay-per-views, because... it was going to be, it's Juventud Guerrera versus Chris Jericho. And you're like, all right. And it's Norman Smiley versus Prince Ikea. What?
Why
is this on my pay-per-view?
Right. Who? And I never, was Prince Ikea Samoan? Was he a part of the Samoan tribe or something?
No.
Or was he just, what was he? And then they rebooted him as the artist formerly known as Prince Ikea, which made a whole lot of sense.
Bro. However, thank you for Paisley. But anyway.
Yes. So, but yeah, the first hour of Nitro sucks.
All right, so unless you guys have anything else, we have done 90 minutes tonight instead of our normal hour. And
great patriotic wrestlers.
Obviously Hogan,
Duggan,
Del
Welks, the Patriot.
Yes, Del Welks, the Patriot. Yes. My favorite patriotic moment.
I honestly think the Patriot was one of the most underutilized by Vince, and I don't know why.
I agree.
We talked a couple of weeks ago on the show, Chris, about GWF, and I remember watching GWF on ESPN at 4 p.m. after school.
Yep.
And the Patriot, before he even got to WCW or the WWF, was over with me. Not only was it a patriotic gimmick, but he was a hell of a wrestler. A hell of a personality.
He was the best guy, the guy in the best shape of GWF.
Mm-hmm.
And he could he could speak it when they actually let him say something.
Right.
Yes.
And then Vince, I don't know if what I've heard is Vince just didn't get the whole you can't be a patriotic person with a mask, and I'm like, yeah, you can. That means you embody everyone.
Okay, so let me get this straight. We're gonna do a shoot promo with him without the mask on, but then he's gonna come to the ring with the mask on. What? When did he become Avatar or Aldo Montoya?
We can say it time and time again that there's been a lot of bad mistakes made in wrestling, but I think the best decision they ever made. Let's go back to 2001. After the 9/11 tragedy, having Kurt Angle win the world title.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because name me another night in that era that those people came unglued more for that than anything else.
Oh yeah. No, Angle deserved it. He was an American hero, whatever they want to say about him. Heel or not, he was an American patriot, through and through. So
With
my
the
favorite
Patriots music.
Yes.
And I don't mind to admit this as a man with a beard and such. and I wrote down here my favorite patriotic moment in wrestling. If we're talking about that. You mentioned Kyle 9/11. I still to this day get choked up when Lillian sings the anthem on the SmackDown after 9/11.
Yeah,
I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. Watch that. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, that will give you chills.
When she delivers that our flag was still there, the way.
Oh fuck! Gets me every time. Gets me every time.
And let's talk about JBL's fucking promo that night.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was a badass. He literally, you literally could see JBL running down and beating the shit out of somebody.
And then after that, he went and slapped around a fat guy because he's a fucking bully. But
no, my favorite though, I think, and I know it's not. He obviously he was not a huge patriotic wrestler. Survivor Series, Team Lex Luger versus the Foreigners. And I think it was Tatanka who got injured.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying who their new partner is, and the Undertaker comes out and he pulls back the black coat, and there's the American flag in his coat to signify he's joining the team. And for the first time, I said, "Wow, the Undertaker actually has character development. He's not just the Undertaker anymore."
Mm-hmm.
I loved when he became the American badass.
Yeah, that's what that's what he started. Right, that could be considered patriotic because he was the American badass. But that moment of him pulling back the coat to reveal the flag, you're like, wow,
he's still American.
It was the first time. It was the first time they brought humanity to the character.
Right, he wasn't just there to kill somebody. He was there to protect what was going on.
And kill somebody like an American.
Right.
You know, bury him like an American.
He wanted to bury Yokozuna, but they buried his ass instead.
And then 20 years later, he killed Muhammad Hassan. Thank you, Undertaker. USA.
And then 30 years later, he killed AJ Styles, who then popped back up last week.
And 30 years later, he took a big payday to take blood money in Saudi Arabia. Sorry, I shit on your narrative there, Archie.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
I'm excited to see the next episode of the Dead Man Last Ride.
I haven't started it yet. Is it good?
It is very good. It is very good. There's two things that I've taken away from that. One, like they put the perfect thing for Michelle McCool to do because she's the person that's like, you have no idea how much pain Murph is in every day. So you don't have the Undertaker saying it. You don't have Undertaker being like, I hurt every day. But you have her to be like, fucking hurts every day.
She's kind of being like, what you're saying is she's kind of being like the Adrian to Rocky.
Yes.
When, part 4, when he has brain damage, but he doesn't want to admit it, but she's admitting it.
Yes. Like I said,
and Undertaker's like, hey, like, cool, I did it. Sorry.
Yeah, very good.
See, I haven't watched it yet because I watched that Broken Skull session with Steve Austin, and I loved it. It was great, but it painted him out to be too human for me. He wasn't the Undertaker anymore, so I'm afraid of that happening here.
In this, they go a different way with it because they don't make it be like he's the Undertaker, he's the dead man. It is going the long way of like he's the last gunslinger.
Right.
But and guys, I don't know what you guys think about this. We've come to the topic now, so I'll discuss it. Is the whole time I've been watching all this, like I watched the Broken Skull sessions, and then I have been watching the docs every week as they drop. And I'm watching him finally, the one guy that never broke kayfabe, you know what I mean? Or tried really hard not to break kayfabe.
Right.
I'm watching him finally let that barrier down. So what I wonder is, as we watch this happen, is the plan, this year's 30 years at Survivor Series.
Right.
Are we planning a final match at Survivor Series? And are we planning it? Are we planning it as not the Undertaker? Are we planning it as Mark?
Right. And is it against AJ Styles?
And is that or is that not the best way for him to go out?
No, he's going to go. I mark my words because I think Archie's going the same way I am. He's going to go. It's going to be Undertaker as the American badass. He's going to face AJ, and AJ is going to put him out.
Right.
Because Undertaker is the ultimate
Trophy.
professional.
What else is? But what else is there for AJ to do? He's been the world champion. He's been the United States champion. If he's the one that takes out the Undertaker with the moniker as the phenomenal one, beating the Phenom.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It gives AJ the rub, and the Undertaker goes out on top as well, because that's why he handpicked AJ to fight at WrestleMania. He wanted a Shawn Michael-esque match. Granted, the Boneyard match wasn't great, but
well, and that's what it was because of everything going on. That's why I think Survivor Series, you're gonna see an actual match.
Right.
Hopefully.
Right. Hopefully. I agree. But yeah, it's just I'm afraid of them taking away more of the mystique. Look, I'm still a mark. When I hear the gong, and I my biggest thing was to always see the Undertaker's entrance live. I've seen it twice now live in person, and it's the best thing in the world when those lights go out and you see the flames and feel the fire, and
we've grown up our entire lives hearing Jim Ross being like, if you could be here and feel it in the air,
right?
And then you go and see it live, and you see the goosebumps.
I literally sat there as a 34-year-old man going, "This is fucking awesome."
Yep. There's something about him that it's.
And I have to say something. I never felt like this with Hogan, Flair, or any of the other wrestlers as much as I do with the Undertaker. Don't get me wrong. When I hear the woo, or I'm a Real American start on the PA system, I get pumped up. But when you hear the Undertaker and you see the crowd go black and you hear the fire and the gong, it's a different feeling.
Yep.
So I think Nate's internet threw him off again.
Nate. I'm taking over.
So, Chris, you said the last thing you watched was Becky Lynch saying that she's pregnant.
Yeah.
What is your feelings on that?
Yeah.
Are you okay? I mean, like, a lot of people felt like Becky Lynch was the champion way too long. Unbeatable,
I guess my thing is, if that wasn't something that was just sporadic.
Right.
And I don't know. I mean, if they were going to do that, it to me almost took away from the whole Money in the Bank element the night before.
Right.
I mean, because this was obviously a known thing, because they announced that she was going to confront the winner, so everyone knew going in it was going to be a Raw woman winning.
Supposedly, she was pregnant when she fought Shayna Baszler. They knew she was pregnant. She found out the very next day that she was already a couple weeks pregnant. So,
I mean, so they knew, and if they were going to inadvertently spoil that a Raw person was going to win the match anyway,
right?
Why didn't they just say, this is, since it's a special circumstance given everything going on anyway,
right?
Just flat out say this is going to be a special Money in the Bank match where they're actually going to be competing for the women's championship.
Right. They should have just took the title off of Becky sooner. I agree. It was a little selfish to have her wait and make the announcement on Raw.
They need ratings, pal.
What's that?
They need ratings, pal.
And I get that, but I'll be honest.
Well, the thing is, to me, they ruined ratings for it when anybody that pays attention to what they say says Becky Lynch is going to confront the winner of Money in the Bank next Monday. So you're like, okay, well, Becky's confronting them. Obviously, a Raw woman's going to win.
Monday morning, news broke that she was pregnant.
Yeah.
People said her announcement is she's pregnant and can't wrestle anymore.
God, you remember WrestleMania 15 when Jim Ross is like, ladies and gentlemen, the new World Wrestling Federation champion will be on.
Yeah, he ruined it at his schedule.
Well,
in my opinion, the only thing that had bona fide about him doing all this was that Seth Rollins refuses to pull out. That's the only thing they told us by doing that. Seth Rollins is selfish and didn't want to pull out at the right time.
No, he doesn't. And then what about Jim Cornette, man? Jesus.
He went a little hard. That was wrong of him to say those things like he did. But it's Cornette.
Yeah,
Cornette. Yeah.
That's the thing about it. Like, people are always shocked about what he says. Like, that's Jim Cornette. That's
He's
what
an
he
old
does.
Southern man. What did you think he was going to say?
I mean,
not only that, but I'm not endorsing or supporting what he said either way.
No.
But I can also see where he's coming from, considering by the time all this happened, Becky's already gone on record also in saying she doesn't even know she's going to come back now at all anyway.
Right.
So I mean, I can in a way see where Cornette's coming from, because to him, the way he was brought up into this business. You busted your ass and you fought and clawed to get where you're at, and
Right.
she was there and she just threw it away. I can see that's where he's coming from.
Exactly.
Especially when she's like, I don't even know if I'm going to come back.
You know,
and
here's the thing.
This is a guy that came up. If you wanted to be in this business was your life.
And
if
you were the top,
turned around like, eh.
And if you were the top draw, it was your responsibility to help others.
Right. Exactly.
In that path. So,
see, my problem with it is that, all right, you look at like a Brie Bella. Brie Bella found out she was pregnant, or Maurice found out she was pregnant. They weren't main stars. They didn't have main roles. They were Daniel Bryan's wife on Total Divas and the Miz's manager. You're the world heavyweight champion for the women's division, and you're letting us know the day after Money in the Bank. Okay, here's the belt that was in the briefcase the whole time. And
hi, guys.
Chris said,
hi.
We don't need you. You can go away. No, I'm just.
So here's what I had to do. Here's what I had to do. All right, so my Wi-Fi went down completely.
Okay.
Fuck you, Spectrum.
I hate Spectrum Cable.
So I actually broke into I used a link and I broke into my own stream with my data.
Oh my God. So you're illegally downloading this right now.
So here I am.
So back to Becky for a second. Like Chris said, I don't even know if I'm going to come back. Well, we know she's got a solid 2 years of not coming back, because 9 months to have the baby and then at least 8 or 9 months to be with the baby. So, yeah, she ain't due back till like 2022 if she does come back.
And are her and Seth going to just travel around on a bus with the baby? I mean, how is that?
Who knows, right? Who knows? Maybe Roman Reigns will babysit it. He ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
He's getting a new tattoo.
Is it a neck one? Because Cody will be jealous.
Did you not see his new tattoo? People are going ape shit about it.
What is it?
Oh, he went from his shoulder piece.
Mm-hmm.
It goes to his spine all the way down his back. It's a continuation of his.
Oh, that ugly ass tribal on his arm?
Yeah, it goes all the way to his spine and all the way down his back. And people are like, so you're worried about the health and well-being of your family. But you put ink into
your skin.
But you just went and pretty much caused an open wound across half of your back.
Right. I'll be honest. I think he did have twins, and I understand he's worried about his children. But I think he used this as an excuse to get a really much-needed vacation. And he needed to heal up.
Shitty. I just think it looks shitty on Vince's part that they did the whole public knowledge thing of, if you don't feel comfortable performing right now, stay home. And so far, 2 of the bigger names that have chosen to do so, he has shit on.
Well, yeah.
Like Roman Reigns is hit or miss. Does he exist on the planet today?
Right.
And Sami Zayn is, screw you, we're taking your belt.
Which pissed me off, because Zayn only went 4 weeks without defending the title. Meanwhile, Brock went how many months without defending the Universal title? Which people made an argument with me on Facebook. I said that Sammy only went 4 weeks without defending his title. Brock went 4 months without defending his title. And people, Brock's a bigger star.
Yeah, but thing is, you could also tell they never planned on Sammy keeping the belt anyway.
Right.
He never got side plates the entire time he held that belt.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I looked every time he was on TV. I was like, oh, he's probably going to lose it this week. Oh, nope, he held it one more. Because he never got side plates.
If he wasn't,
and then you've got Drew McIntyre coming out 20 minutes after his match with brand new side plates to battle Big Show, a.k.a. / Monday Night Raw.
if you want it, the end game looks like it's going to end up being Daniel Bryan versus Hardy for this tournament. If you wanted Daniel Bryan to be the champion and feud with Jeff Hardy, why didn't Daniel Bryan just win the title at WrestleMania?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Because he's so little, pal.
And Sammy was doing so good, too.
He was. I mean, he was annoying as fuck, but he was good. I know he was meant to be annoying, but, like, you know. And now Nakamura and Cesaro have nobody, except for King Corbin, who we all know how great he is.
Oh, yeah, we all know how great he is.
He's wonderful.
He's the alpha to the omega.
How?
I'll agree with you on that.
All right, guys, I think we should wrap it up because I'm having internet problems. And
yep.
You and your damn internet problems.
We've gone almost 2 hours, and it's been a great show. And I want to thank Archie and Kyle and Chris for joining us tonight. Thank you, Chris.
I'd like to say something before we sign off. This is my first show being on with Chris and Kyle at the same time. This is awesome.
Yes.
Hey, yo.
I was beginning to think they hated me.
No.
They never showed up whenever I would try to get on.
Hate's a strong word. That's reserved for special people.
Oh,
that's
so
reserved for Aaron.
Me. Wait a minute. Hold on. Do I have X-Pac heat with either one of you?
You might with Aaron. You might want to check.
No, me and Aaron are good.
Aaron,
I make him customs.
I don't hear any Uncle Cracker music. You're good.
Okay, good.
But thank you guys very much for not only joining me tonight, but also bearing with having to host the show when I was not present. And I want to let everybody know I had a crazy week in my shoot job this week, a crazy weekend. But episode 98 will be up. We did it live on Facebook, so you should have watched it. But I will have the audio of that up hopefully sometime in the next couple of days, and we will be recording episode 99 on Friday.
And if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed to the YouTube or to our Facebook page yet, what are you waiting for?
You're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong, exactly.
And Archie,
you could have watched us record it live and saw all the fun stuff that happens behind the scenes.
And if you're not a part of the Facebook or the YouTube, you're missing out on the giveaway that Nate's doing. There's crazy prizes invested. It's free stuff, guys.
Actually, I'm kind of shitty. Like, where's the custom of me? Because I want to see you make like a figure with this crazy wild ass beard.
Challenge accepted.
Oh, you will get a custom of Nate and me.
Challenge accepted.
There is a custom of me. That's ridiculous.
As right now, Aaron wants one, and you
right
want
there.
One. No problem.
Right there.
Right there.
Look at that. Look
it's
at that.
A Kyle.
Yeah. No sleeves and everything. Come on, guys. And of course, as always, check out the Asylum. Check out World Championship Customs.
Hey, I don't got to do my own cheap pops anymore. Kyle doesn't for me.
and for all you fans who like other things besides wrestling, check out the Motley Soup.
Yes, and the Nerd Closet.
Check out Kyle, our own resident pitchman down here.
Yeah.
Kyle is available to pitch your businesses whenever you want. Just reach him at Kyle.
He's like the Billy Mays of We Can't Wrestle. Oh, wait, there's more.
Right here on StreamYard.
But yes, and finally, as I said, check out the Nerd Closet, check out the Virtual Asylum, because this Saturday, in the age of COVID-19, it's hard for, literally, you can't get a wrestling convention going.
Nope.
Where we get to go meet our heroes, meet our favorites from the past. You can do that if you join the Virtual Asylum or the Nerd Closet or World Championship Customs, because as an example, this Saturday, the 30th, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, one of the greats of all time. We were talking about patriotic wrestlers this week. What the hell? Right. Is going to be there to interact with you. And Archie, I know you'll attest to this, and Chris and Kyle, I don't know if you got to check out the buff, but
yes, I did.
It is actually better than a con, because at a con, the wrestler,
like 30 seconds.
It's not their fault, but the wrestlers
there's not a line.
Right.
And they've got to get through that line and hello brother and shake your hand and sign your. Buff Bagwell spent 2 to 3 minutes, maybe 4 or 5 minutes.
Right, and with some people 4 or 5 minutes, because he was enjoying the questions that were being asked and the interaction with people. You know, you got to look at it this way: these wrestlers aren't able to do anything right now.
Mm-hmm.
Their main money source of going to conventions, of wrestling, of doing, is out the window. So it's not about the money. And that
actually reminds me. Thank you, Archie, for bringing that up. I also want to make sure I point out, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you're obviously a wrestling fan. During this time right now, like he said, they can't do what they love.
Right.
Support who you love. Go to get their merch, show support, help them out.
Yep.
Go to Pro Wrestling Tees, go to Teespring, go to wherever they've got merch, buy a shirt, show support. Because if you guys aren't doing this, they're not going to be able to afford to keep doing their passion. That is our passion. When all this shit is finally lifted and we can get to quasi-normal lives again.
And here's the thing of it too, Chris. Some of these guys that we've talked to already, because Rocky Turner's talking to a bunch of names, have said that even once all of this whole COVID stuff gets lifted, they like the virtual shows better because it gives them an opportunity to interact with their fans even more. Like we just said, it's not a 30-second hi, hello, here's your autograph. Mm-hmm. It gives them a chance to talk to their fans. So this might be the norm going forward. So yes, and support also, these wrestlers.
And also, Buff donated a lot of cool stuff to be auctioned off.
Yes.
Pair of ring-worn boots.
2 sets of ring-worn pants.
So I mean, guys, come on, get in on this.
I agree. I'm above. How could I put this nicely? I was above Bagwell fan, but not hugely because I only knew of him. I never met him before. And then I got a chance to talk to him for a few minutes before we went live and then during the show. And ever since, I'm like, dude, this is the most down-to-earth guy I've ever met in my life.
I used to make fun of your WCW pennant, but that was WCW, not you, Buff. So,
So he was so nice, so down. He didn't. Yep. It wasn't like, oh, I'm this larger than life wrestler. You can't talk to me. No, he was like, hey, brother, what's up? What are you doing? He saw my granddaughter in the background. He's like, what's her name? How old is she? How's your son? These guys are taking time out of their schedule now because they don't have one to sit there and talk with us. Might as well take advantage of that time and actually get questions answered that you want and meet them.
And the biggest thing is these guys, everybody involved in all of this is working so damn hard to make this available to all of you.
Yep.
The least you can do is join in on the Facebook group and get into it.
Exactly.
None of these guys ask for any thank yous or any,
It's free to be in the feed. You could be see how they're watching us on StreamYard right now. They can be watching the Hacksaw Jim Duggan talk and meet all these wrestlers. You don't got to pay. There is no fee. Like with a con, when you walk into a wrestling con, you pay a $30 entry fee. There is no entry fee here. You could sit here and watch the show for free. If you want to interact with Hacksaw and you want an 8x10, it's $30, which is actually cheaper than you're going to pay at the con again because they charge $50 and up.
And again, you're not paying the parking, you're not paying the con admission, You're not paying, and like some of them, if they do panels, you're not paying the panel fee, And
the money goes directly to them.
And then the money goes directly to them. Exactly. There is no middleman that's going to say, okay, Buff, I owed you $5, and then he made $10,000 because he was at the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all going directly to these guys.
We don't take a cut out of it. It's all them. Nope. We're doing this because we love pro wrestling, and you guys love pro wrestling. So support it. Tell your friends.
And I have
to get involved.
And I have to reiterate again, I don't know if I can be a better pitchman than Kyle now. I used to think I was a pitchman around here, but I have to reiterate.
It's funny, you've got the Billy Mays beard, but he's got the Billy Mays mouth. That sounded dirty.
I think Kyle was summoning. I think Kyle was summoning his inner Foley when it came for the cheap pop. And
I was exactly.
So.
But I have to say, really, honest to God, and 2020 is going to be a big year for. And I have to say the names again, guys, because we are truly becoming a family of pages on Facebook.
Yes.
World Championship Customs, the We Can't Wrestle podcast, the Asylum, and Nerd Closet. We are all working together
as one
to become your source. I mean, your source for collecting, your source for wrestling discussion. And I'm really excited this year. I mean, it's been a shitty year. Let's be honest. It's been a shitty year. But for us, it's been an exciting year. And I think great things are to come.
And I said this last night. I did a bit of I called it a pipe bomb, but it really wasn't. It was just me speaking my mind. It doesn't matter what group you're a member of. We all want to be in every group. I'm in 20 of them. And Kyle's slowly following me to each and every one of them because I invite him to all of them.
Yep, absolutely.
It doesn't matter what group you're in. It's just not a cult. We're not a gang. We welcome everybody. We want you all to join every group because here's the thing. Yes, we're doing the virtual shows. Yes, we have Hasbros to raffle. Yes, we have merchandise to raffle. There may be a group, though, that has that piece of merchandise we don't. So join them because you want that particular piece. Mm-hmm. We're all trying to make this community one, not 40 different groups all trying to get the same nickel. It's not about the money. It's about bringing these groups together so that this hobby can be fun again, rather than it being a job or a lot of bullshit that doesn't need to happen.
Yep.
So, absolutely. Well, guys, I want to thank you for joining me again. I want to thank our viewers and listeners for joining and commenting tonight. And sorry I wasn't able to keep up with all the comments. I just, my internet is ass tonight, apparently. But any parting words, Kyle, for your adoring fans?
Thank you again to anybody and everybody who has served any time in the military, who has given the ultimate sacrifice to keep us free. Thank you from the bottom of all of our hearts. And stay safe. I know that everything is starting to, ease out, but still, come on, guys, let's be smart.
Right.
So that way we get through this and things get back to normal.
Archie?
I agree with Kyle. He said it best.
And Chris?
On top of everything he said, as far as everything, the reason we're here, all I can honestly, truly say is one thing that I live by with this whole demographic: support what you like, love what you like, don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
I like it. Exactly. I like it.
Exactly.
Yeah, the only dick around here is Aaron. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. And we can't rest.
They said that, Aaron, not me.
But you laughed and agree, but
thank you for joining us. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm going to sign out now, and hopefully my internet comes back up and I can end this feed, because until I can, it's going to be a black feed on Facebook. We'll see you next time on We Can't Wrestle Live. Thanks, guys.
Bye.